In this video, we will continue with the next part of the classes and option, and that is nothing but the overloading of our methods. This topic we all have seen in the C language, that is, the function having the same name but different parameter is nothing but the overloading of the methods. When a method is called, Java chooses the method definition to execute depending on the method name and the number of type of argument. This process is also known as the polymorphism. For example, add is a function and it is having the two parameters of type integer. Again, there is a overloading method add. It is having one integer, one float. Again, another add, that is a float integer, and again another add method that is having the both float data type as a parameters. Now, how the system will identify exactly give call to anyone among these all methods. This is depend on the type of a parameter. Suppose user have called the method like add 1 1.3. It will identify the type of parameters. First is the integer, second is the float. Then it will match with the this method. So definition described in this method is executed, and simultaneously for remaining also same executed. Now, as I have called the overloading method as a polymorphism. Polymorphism is the feature that allows one interface to be used for a general class of actions, and it is can be expressed as one interface and multiple methods. For example, I will show you how to actually accomplish this overloading task with the help of a Java class. For that, you will create one class. I am taking it as a demo. Then you have to create methods. Okay. So for example, void add. Okay. It is integer x, integer y. Then you have to only print the addition. So it can be accomplished like system.out.println in bracket. The addition is plus x plus y. It can be directly executed. Now it is a completion of a first function. Suppose I am taking the again add function and it is having the parameters like float type x and float type y. Again I am printing the addition of it, that is like system.out.println and the addition is plus x plus y, but it will give the addition in terms of a floating forms. Similarly, we can take a mixing of this integer and float for the addition. Okay, I will stop here and demonstrate how to call it in a main method. So, for calling it in a main method, I have to write the main method like public static void main. Main method is like public static void main in bracket string a. Okay. Now, you all knows that for accessing the class, you have to create the object of that class. For that, I am creating the object like demo type d equals to new demo. Okay. You have to maintain the name as it is like of the class name. Then I will directly call the functions to the object, that is d dot. For example, I will call add and pass two integers, then it will call to these two. Suppose I will call the add d. 1.2, 3.4, then it will directly call the second method. And following such method, you can create many number of methods in a single class or in a single program. The benefit of using the overloading methods is that suppose you have to add the same, you have to add the two integer, two float, and many such things, and you have to give the same name to identify it later sometime. So it is a solution for such mechanisms. Now we will cover the next mechanism of the classes and objects, that is nothing but the constructor. The constructor we have seen in the C++, and that is nothing but the when you initialize the object, it will auto call at that time. There is no need to access it separately. So what is the constructor? The methods which enables an object to initialize itself. The methods which enables to an object to initialize itself when object is created. Okay, and it is known as a constructor. What does it actually mean? For example, there is a class demo, okay, and it is a constructor. You all know that constructor does not have any return type. It is having the same name as a class name and opening, closing. You can perform your all programming logic in the same constructor also. Then how it will be auto called? Suppose there is a public static void main method, and in that you are creating the object like demo type d equals to new demo. Okay, for example, when you are creating the object like demo type d equals to new demo, the constructor is auto called. There is no any mechanism to call it like a another methods of the class. Means this is an illegal way of calling the constructor. There is no any need to call constructor because it is auto called when the object is initialized. Name of the class and constructor is the same. Again, constructor do not have any return type and not even the void. The reason behind that, they return the instance of the class itself. They are not returning any special data type. They are returning the class instance itself. So it does not have any return type. Now we will take one example to demonstrate it. Okay. First of all, I will create a class like rectangle. Okay. Then I will take integer type, length and breadth of the rectangle. Then I will create a constructor like rectangle. And you all know that the parameter passed here means integer x, integer y will take a value from the main method and pass it to the length and breadth. I will initialize this to x to a length and y to breadth. How it is? Length equals to x and breadth equals to y. Now I am completing the constructor. Then I will create one method that is calculate area. Okay, now how I will calculate? Simply length into breadth. So I can directly return length into breadth. Clearly see here that these are the actual parameters of the class and these are the dummy parameters taking the places which are of the variables or the data values which are coming from the main method. These are the placeholder only for that, and these values are copied into length and breadth. Okay. Now After such mechanism, I am completing the class method and the this class. Okay. Then you can create the same public static main method in the same class, or you can create the another class for them. Okay. Now, for example, I will take another class like a class constructor. Okay. In that, only task remain for us that only call the main method, that is the public static void main in bracket string a. Okay. Now, what is the first task? You have to call the object of this class. So, I will call the object like rectangle type r equals to new rectangle, and carefully see here, as the instance of the constructor is created with the initialization of the object, the parameter you are taking here, you have to pass from this place. Suppose this is a 10 and 20. Actually, these values you have to pass directly here. Means it is nothing but the constructor initialization. Now, here you are accepting the return type of the method. So you have to again create one variable like integer type. For example, area equals to. You have to call r dot calculate area. Okay, opening closing. Here the area calculated is collected in this. You have to simply print it here. System dot out dot print ln area is, and you have to simply print the variable. Okay, and now you are completing the main method, you are completing the class. So this is nothing but the mechanism of creating the constructor and calling the constructor by initialization of the object. Again I am repeating it. This is the class name and it is the constructor name. Both are having the same, but it does not have any return type because it is an instance of a class. It is returning the object of the class, not any simple data type. Then these are the two dummy parameters. Passing values means this 10 and 20 are passed actually this to this, and these are accepted to this, and then length and breadth is calculated here. Then again I am creating the next class. Then what would be the uh, program set with which name? As the main method is in a constructor class, then this program will be set with constructor.java. Okay. Now in this public static void main, first task for you is that you have to create the object of that class. Then through this method you are initializing the constructor, and in that is initialization, here you have passed the parameters, then you have to again accept the values of the same from here. Then you are calling the area method, and then you are printing the area. So this is all about how constructors are initialized, how they are called with the time of object initialization. Thank you so much.